With Year 7 Season 2, we were introduced one of the most deadliest exotic snipers since the Nemesis exotic sniper. And I'll tell you, the Shroud lives up to the hype. It is an absolute monster. 106 million damage there. And the crazy part about it, I'm not even getting the 30% weapon damage buff from the seasonal modifiers because I don't even have all the control points captured. I'm also using the gunner specialization for 10% armor on kill versus using the sharpshooter specialization, which would give you more headshot damage. If you guys want to make some changes, you guys can. You guys can swap different pieces out, and I'll explain that when I do the build breakdown. But overall, if you guys have been looking for a true sniper build that doesn't use determine, that requires you to hit those headshots and be able to drop enemies, this is going to be that build for you. But I'll let you guys decide how you want to run it. If you guys are a big determined fan, well, this might not be the sniper build for you. This will take actual skill and will take some actual aiming to land these. But when you do, the satisfaction is there. So how about we get into the build breakdown so you guys can see how I have this set up and how you guys can make some changes to fit your playstyle. So the Shroud has become one of my favorite sniper rifles to use in the Division 2. It came out with this seasonal pass, and it's based off of the M700. And if you compare it to the M700, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go show base damage. You'll see we have 412, and if we go down to one of my M700, 412. So it's based off of the M700 carbon, and take a look at this. You'll see it right here, 412.5, 412.5, the exact same base damage on this weapon, just so you guys can see. If I didn't have any proficiency on this weapon, it would be sitting around 1.23 with the build I currently have on. And with the 30% extra weapon damage is sitting at 1.35. So just so you guys can see the difference, the total damage will still be pretty insane on the Shroud, even without the 30% weapon damage. So if we look at the Shroud, it has 68 RPM, 7 in the magazine, 268% headshot damage, 50 optimal range. Now we do have marksman rifle damage, headshot damage, and 10% damage targets out of cover. Ideally, these are the 3 roles that you want to have on here. And we have high priority target. Now this is actually going to pair really good with one of the pieces I have on my build, and I'll explain in a second. So the way high priority target works, it amplifies weapon damage by 125% to the highest ranking enemy currently in combat. So what that means is if you have anybody in the tier 1 versus tier 2 versus tier 3, tier 1 is going to get to 125% first. Now, if there's nobody in tier 1, then tier 2 is going to get it. So in tier 1, you have hunters, rogues, leaders, tanks, shields, heavies, RPGs, medic, controllers, warhounds, and marauders. And then if you go to tier 2, support, engineer, bodyguard, immobilizer, bomber, mini tank, drone operator. And then tier 3 is any other enemy and skill proxy. So if there's no tier 1s, then tier 2 will be get the 125% and so on. Pretty self-explanatory right there. Now, what I do really like about this one, it has 25% headshot damage from the scope, 20% reload speed, 5% critical hit damage, and 20% headshot damage. Now for your secondary, you can run whatever you want. I do have the tactical Mark 16, MK16, whatever you guys want to call it. For our first piece, we are going to be running the hot shot, but we're only going to be running a 2-piece because the 2-piece, what it does is it's going to unlock 30% marksman rifle damage and 30% weapon handling. Obviously, you know, weapon handling is accuracy, stability, reload speed. This is definitely a good 2-piece to have just for the 30% marksman rifle. The 30% weapon handling is a bonus. We have weapon damage, headshot damage, and headshot damage mod. This is pretty much what you're going to see on all the pieces. For the chest piece, we are running the HE chest piece, and this is going to give us 13% headshot damage and 20% marksman rifle damage because we do have a 2-piece. We have weapon damage on here, headshot damage. I would love to have weapon handling. Haven't been able to find that, so I have hazard protection. This kind of helps out when I do get caught on fire because I'm going to have a total of 30% hazard protection. Can help me survive, especially since I don't have a lot of armor on this build. We do have headshot damage mod, and then we do have headhunter. After killing an enemy with your headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals an additional 125% of that killing blow's damage. For our second piece of hot shot, it's going to be the holster, and it's going to be weapon damage, headshot damage. For the knee pads, we went with the Rowdy knee pads for the 10% marksman rifle damage, weapon handling, headshot damage. Now, if you guys want to use turmoil with this, you guys can. It will 100% work. If you guys want to run it, I like to give you guys options, but Araldi is going to give you the most damage. Terminal is going to allow you to hit 2 enemies. Now, like I said, I paired up the Shroud sniper rifle with the Overdog gloves. The reason why is because it has a talent called Weakest Link. You guys know how the Shroud focuses tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? Well, the Weakest Link kind of does the opposite of that. Now, the only thing about the overdogs is it's going to have no headshot damage, so it has weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage. But then the way Weakest Link work is it amplifies weapon damage by 30% to the lowest ranking enemies. So that means tier 3 is going to get a 30%. Tier 2 will get it if there's nobody there. Tier 1. So this honestly works really good with the Shroud because the Shroud does the opposite, 125% to the highest. And then this one gives you 30%, which is good because that allows you to knock out those lower enemies pretty quick. Not 100% sure if I love this or just running a 4-piece hotshot. And then for the backpack is our second piece of HG. Remember, we're getting that 20% marks rifle. We have weapon damage, another Hasbro roll. I would love to have weapon handling, headshot damage, and headshot damage mod. And then we have vigilance, increase total weapon damage by 25%. Taking damage does disable this buff. That right there is the build, guys. If you guys wanted to check a look at the stats real quick, I'll just show you 16% crit chance, 62% crit damage, 268% headshot damage. Now, if you notice, I do have 72,000 armor on kill. I highly recommend is that you guys run with the gunner specialization for the 10% armor on kill. You guys can run with the tag 50 to hit even harder. Having that little bit of survivability can definitely make the difference, especially since you're one-tapping enemies. Highly recommend that. Now, to maximize the damage for the active modifiers, you're gonna wanna run Zealot. The reason why is because you're gonna get weapon damage stack on this per stack, and that's where you're gonna get a crazy amount of damage. Now, when you activate this, that's when you're gonna see those higher numbers. Without it being active, you'll probably be sitting at about 86 million. With it active, that's where you saw the 106 million. So that's something that you guys need. The one thing is when you guys are about to explode, be in cover or something, or be around enemies, because you're gonna go down to 1 health. And that's what I tell you guys. You guys wanna just be careful how you play this, but it's definitely really good. Now, I do have compromise. While you're in cover, your headshot damage against snipers increases by 100%. And then we also have batter up. Any grenade within 5 meters of you is destroyed, cooldown 30 seconds. And then this is really good because when you're in cover, you get nades thrown at you. Perfect for this one. And then Rupert's Tear, 100%. When you break any pieces of a tank's armor, all the armor will break, all the enemies around him will bleed. Now, if you see here, we only have 8% damage bonus. We can still get an additional 22% extra damage on this build if we captured more. So this isn't even the hardest it can hit. So just keep that in mind right there. So yeah, these are the modifiers I'm running with this. And that is the build right there. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Remember, you guys can run the turbo knee pads. You guys can even try running a 4-piece hotshot. That's really up to you. We were going for the most damage possible on a build, and seeing 106 million with the Shroud is very impressive. So if you guys want to test out the build, let me know how you guys like it. Again, you guys can run the turbo knee pads, but I'll let you guys enjoy the build. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, Nothing But Skills out.